You guessed it, we're going to be discussing camera moves and how they add meaning and feeling to different moments in the film Poltergeist. It's going to add a lot of nuance to your own films. It's going to get you thinking like a director. It's going to get you appreciating movies and breaking down the individual pieces that you need to think about as you craft your own stories. The first shot we're going to be talking about is the first shot of the movie. They start off with a great start here. But the first shot of the movie is we're really super close on the pixels of this 1980s television set. It's so close that we don't know what we're seeing. It's a big question. It's almost like the moment in Jurassic Park when we're dollying in on the amber. We've talked about this and I've referenced it a few times. And the audience doesn't know what this ember is about, what this mosquito is about. And so there's this question that's going on. We've spent so much time with this TV. It's saying as if something is important about this TV. And what's interesting about this is they're not doing it with a dolly in, but we're saying here through a dolly out because of the length of time we're spending with the TV. The dolly out is saying this TV is important. And we're dollying out to do a wider shot to see the world, to be introduced to the world. As we dolly out, so there's a guy sitting in a chair and his arm droops down so that we know he's alive, so that there's motion and things are going on in the world and it's not just like inanimate objects. And that brings over and motivates the dog to come into frame. And now we're going to be following the dog, the only thing that's awake right now in the world. And we pan with him. He motivates the pan. Now that we're following the dog, he motivates the pan to the right. We see the flicker of the TV on the wall, and it's really emphasizing and hitting home the importance of this TV, because this is the TV that the little girl's going to be talking to later about the ghosts on the other side. And what's interesting is it's obviously a dolly out, so it's on a track, and it's going backwards because it's dollying out, right? And then it pans over, and as it pans to the staircase that the dog is going to go up, it starts to become a dolly in. They've made it almost and combined it with this other moment, which could be a whole nother shot, but they put them together and keep the shot stitched together in one movement. And so then it dollies in up the stairs. I don't think there's a particular reason why they're dollying up the stairs, but I think it's just really cool. All right, what we're gonna focus on this next shot is really within a short time frame. And that's completely fine because there's a lot of thought that's gone into this moment. We've been following the dog. When he goes up to the girl, it's important that we know that he's been following these people around. So when we break from that MO, when something different happens, it piques up our interest. It highlights it to the audience, saying something different has happened here. Something unusual is going to happen. And so what happens is the dog comes to the girl, says hi like he's done with everybody else, and leaves. And we stay with the girl. These are important choices that the directors make, and that audiences might not understand that they appreciate, but that they appreciate when they actually feel what's going on in the story. Music that goes on. Non-diegetic music. It's a really fancy word to say it's music or a sound that doesn't exist in the world that you are. So the characters don't hear it, but the audience does. So we're dollying in and the music starts, and as we continue to dolly in, so again, dollies in this instance, like another dolly ends, says something is important. Something important is happening here. And we don't know what it is because the girl's just simply sleeping. And as the music kind of gets a little bit louder, she gets up, doesn't look, if she woke up and was thinking about getting up or having a hard time getting up, she would just sit there and continue the same direction, or maybe look down in a sleepy way about so that she's thinking about what she's already caught in the same thought. But that's not what happens. She gets up and turns her head. Now, okay, Robert, you're really, getting into quibbles about details here. As a director, you have to quibble about the details because that's how you make a story great. And so the little girl turns her head, and by her turning her head, we know that she's hearing something. And guess what she's hearing? She's hearing, I think this is the coolest thing, she's hearing the non-diegetic music. So if you think about it, non-diegetic music is music of not of this world, not of their world. So we're hearing the music of the ghosts who are not of this world. It's just, I mean, it's absolutely brilliant for directing audiences, but it's also just kind of got this poetic wittiness to it when you're talking about non-diegetic music and how it works with filmmaking. And so I just thought that was such a great way to do it. Now, I really like this shot, or these two shots. They combined together. It's a dolly in, but the reason why I like it is because it shows the power of a camera move without really showing anything else. It works in the context of a supernatural film where bad things are happening, so it works with that. But what happens is it's an exterior shot of the house. We've cut to the exterior again to show that time has passed. So that's a good way to go, is cut to an exterior, and that kind of shows that time has passed again. But we dolly in on the house just a little bit, just not for very long, and then we dolly in as we cut to the interior. We continue the dolly in, and it stops. So the dolly in is increasing tension, dramatic tension for the moment. And when it stops, it's got to go somewhere. And where it goes is it goes underneath. Now there's this tension about the scene. We know something's going to happen just because of these two camera moves. Now this is the last shot of the movie. I know, I'm sad that it's over too. But it looks like it's a steady cam. It's actually not, but let's pretend it's a steady cam. They steady cam out, following the family as they go forward towards their motel room. So it's not really an important camera move. It's just kind of utilitarian. There's nothing against you need those shots. As they come to what will be their hotel room, their motel room, the mother is out front. She's had the brunt of the issues of that night, and she's had a rough time and she's exhausted. And so they put her out in front on purpose so that we could see that exhaustion, not only because she's in front of the camera and we can see her best, that's not the only reason, but because as they move forward, the daughter, she stops, and the dad, they stop because they know the motel room that they're at. They're paying attention and they're looking around. And so she's so tired, she keeps going for a few steps. It's just a little subtle, nice little addition to it so that we know that she's tired. They go into the hotel room, they all go inside, and the door closes. And there's a big stop there, and nothing happens for a moment. And I think that's kind of interesting, and I think it really works. Something else, this isn't the end of it right now, the end of the movie. And so after 1 or 2 seconds, the door opens, and the dad, Steve, comes out with the TV and puts it out. And then he closes the door hard. And then we continue to steady cam out down the walkway in the motel room. And what that does is it's a dolly out. Like we've seen, I keep going back to a couple shots in Lego Movie, the end of Lego Movie, for example. And they crane out to show that the tension from that relationship is no longer a tension, it's resolved. They're going to be together. That's what's happening here. The tension of the whole movie has been resolved. And it's not just the ghosts have been out, but the tension that there was a TV in the hotel room also needs to be resolved. And so they put the TV out, and only then do we continue our steady cam out. And it keeps going more and more and more out until we actually realize, and we detach from the walkway, and we realize we're on some kind of crane, and the crane itself is moving as it cranes away from the motel room. And you know what? I think that's it. I really enjoyed this episode, guys. It was really fun talking about Poltergeist with you. Next time, I'll see you guys back on the channel. Thanks for watching. Hit the notifications and subscribe.